Yeah, I'll take off my sweater. It's gonna be tough. My hair, do my hair, take off my sweater, hold my belly. I'm alright now. Alright, here we go. Have a look at these sentences, guys. Okay. Missing the train, comma, I realized how late I was. Having missed the train, comma, having missed the train, I decided to take a taxi. Yeah? I decided to take a taxi cab. Another sentence. Having been missed the train, yeah, we're referring to the train. Having been missed, comma, there was no point in complaining. Yeah? There was no point in complaining. And another one. Missed. Yeah? Missed by the skin of my teeth. Missed by the skin of my teeth. Missed by the skin of my teeth. Just for a second, yeah, I missed it. In Spanish I would say, por los pelos, yeah? Missed by the skin of my teeth. And then you can conclude saying, no luck. Okay, again, what are these? These are participle clause, and then main clause. The most important clause, the one that carries the essential information, the most important information in the sentence, is the main clause. I realize how late I was. Yeah, I decided to take a taxi. There was no point in complaining about it. No luck. I had no luck. What is the participle clause doing? It's giving extra information, yeah, to the subject or about the subject of the main clause. Yeah? Or simply saying, giving extra information, yeah, about the main clause. Now, what are the different tenses that I'm using here? If I say missing the train, what is the tense that I'm using here? We call this a present participle. Yeah? Present participle clause. The one using the gerund, yeah? We call it a present participle clause. Yeah? Present participle. How about this one? Having missed, yeah? Having missed the train. We call it a perfect participle. Perfect because we have here the perfect, yeah? The verb to have as an auxiliary, and then the past participle. This is a perfect participle. Having been missed, we're referring to the train, yeah? Having been missed, there was no point. Having been missed, what is that? This, we also call it perfect participle. Perfect participle. Also, I'll tell you about the difference in a minute. Perfect participle. The same name. And this one, the last one, missed. Okay, by the skin of my teeth is adding extra information. We could also remove it. We could just say missed. No luck. How do we call this? We call it past participle. The name of the participle clause, yeah? Past participle. Now, which ones are active and which ones are passive? Missed. No luck. Is this missed active or passive? The train was missed. Passive, yeah? Passive. Now, having been missed. The train having been missed. Passive or active? Passive or active? The train having been missed by me. It's a passive construction, okay? It's a passive construction. If I say I missed the train, that would be an active one. I missed the train. Okay, having missed the train, I decided to take a taxi. Me having missed the train, is that active or passive? Rachel, say it again. Correct. So that is one difference between having missed the train, me having missed the train, referring to me having missed the train, that is active. Or having been missed, the train having been missed by me. Here you would say by me in your head. Sorry? What's going on? Oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so these are the four main constructions, yeah, that I want you to bear in mind. Yeah, missing the train, that is present participle. Having missed the train, perfect participle, active. Having been missed, referring to the train, perfect participle, passive. And missed, by the skin of my teeth, if you want to add something else. Missed, that is past participle, passive. So 4 constructions that I want you to bear in mind for participle clauses. Choose.
The person is active?
Missing the train, I realize, I would say me missing the train. I would say it's active. It's not missing the train by me. No, it's me missing the train. Myself missing the train. I would say that one is active. Yeah? Okay. Good, let's continue. How can you negate? How can you make all these past, all these present participle, perfect participle, past participle, all these participle clauses, how can you make it negative? How can you negate all this? Missing the train, how can you make this negative? Do we need an auxiliary verb? Not here. No need for an auxiliary. So we would just say, not missing the train, I realized that I was not that late. Yeah, I would need to change the information in the main clause to make it have sense. Yeah. Having missed the train, I decided to take a taxi. I decided not to take a taxi. So how can you make it negative? Not having missed the train, I decided not to take a taxi. In order to make sense, I need to make the main clause negative as well. Yeah. Having been missed, there was no point in complaining about it. Okay, there was no point in whatever. How can you negate this? Again, just not. Yeah. Not having been missed, there was no point in doing. In taking a taxi, for example. Yeah? Not having been missed, there was no point in taking a taxi. Negative. Not missed. Instead of no lack, I would say lucky. Yeah? Not missed. Lucky. Yeah? In order to make sense. So, in order to negate, in order to make a participle clause negative, you just need to add not. Yeah? And there is no need for auxiliary verbs. So far, so good? I'm going to erase it, but it's being recorded for my followers. Can I? It seems easy, but actually, I have to use a lot of force in order to erase this. If I don't use the force in me, like in Star Wars, this is the result. So I really need to use my muscle, in order to get rid of everything. Perhaps the eraser is not the best one. Okay, next one. having missed the train, comma, having missed the train, comma, we decided to take a cab. We decided to take a cab, a taxi cab. Another sentence, sentence 1, sentence 2. Having missed the train, having missed the train, comma, Molly gave us a ride. One of these sentences is wrong according to the rules of the fine English language. Even though it doesn't look wrong, according to the fine rules of the fine English language, one of them is wrong.
The second one.
Your instinct, your gut. What does your gut tell you, Shema?
One, because the main sentence is not referred not to them and not to us, so it's not important.
Exactly. So, what is the subject in the first example? The subject of the main clause. Remember, main clause, participle clause. The subject of the main clause here is we. What is the subject? Even though it's not there for you to see it, but if there was a subject here, what would it be? We as well. Yeah? Us or we. Yeah? Referring to us or we. Having missed the train, we decided to take a cab. So the subject needs to be the same. Us, we. However, here the subject is we, yeah, is us. Us having missed the train, Molly gave us a ride. In this case, the subject is not the same. And the subject needs to be the same. Okay? We need to have the same subject in the participle clause as the subject in the main clause. Otherwise, it is considered wrong, according to Oxford and Cambridge scholars. May I? Okay, good. Let's talk about time now. I'm going to ask for a new eraser or something. Let's talk about time. Time. And now look at this sentence. Reading the paper, I heard the birds singing. Reading the paper, I heard the birds singing. Okay, again, here we have participle clause, here we have the main clause. The subject is the same, yeah, me reading the paper, I heard the birds singing. Okay, which one is this one? Reading the paper, out of the 4 types that I gave you at the beginning. Present participle, present participle, perfect participle active, perfect participle passive, or just past participle? Present, yeah? Present what? Participle, yeah? Present participle, that is the name of it. And what are these two actions? What is the relation between these two actions? Are these two actions happening one after the other, close to each other, or at the same time? So one of the uses, yeah, of the present participle of this participle clause is to refer to two actions happening at the same time. Okay, two actions happening at the same time. You could use, a conjunction here. What is the best optional conjunction that you could use here? While. Optional, yeah? Optionally, you could make use of a conjunction. While in the paper, I heard the bird singing. Good. Another example. Another example. Again, using the present participle. Another example. Closing the book, he stood up and smiled. Closing the book, he stood up and smiled. Again, the subject in the main clause is he. Here it would also be he if we had it, so it's fine. It is the present participle again, yeah. And are these two actions happening at the same time, close together in time, or very clearly separated? I mean, if you had a clock in front of you, would they be very clearly separated from each other, very close to each other, or exactly at the same time? Very close to each other, yeah? I would say closing the book, he stood up and smiled. Normally, I imagine it in my head as a consecutive action, one after the other. But maybe he closed the book, then smiled, and then stood up. I don't know, but all the actions are very close together. So I would say we're referring to actions close together, yeah? Actions closed together, yeah? Closing the book, again, using the present participle. Closing the book, he stood up and smiled. Okay, I'm going to give you another one. Having missed the train, we had to call a cab. Having missed the train, we have to call a cab. In this case, would you say that these are simultaneous actions, very close together actions, or actions that are clearly finished, one before the other? In this case, I would say it's very clear that one action happened before the other, okay? In this case. And what am I using here? Having missed the train. What am I using this time out of the four types? Perfect. This is perfect because we have the auxiliary have and then the past participle. This is a perfect participle. Yeah, perfect. Perfect participle. Because we're using the perfect participle, and here we're referring to two actions in which one action was finished before the other, clearly before the other. Yeah? One action finished clearly before the other. One way to put it. Yeah? One action finished clearly before the other. So far so good, guys? Yep. May I? Let's talk about cause now. Cause. And I'll give you an example. Imagine that I went to a party in which everyone spoke English and I didn't. And I say, not speaking English. Now speaking English, it was impossible to communicate with anybody, so I left that English speaking party. Yeah? I left the party. Or being a teenager, this is true for me. Being a teenager, I was so stupid. True for me and for many. Not for all. There are many teenagers who have a very clear, nice, and mature personality. Anyway, not speaking English, participle clause. Being a teenager, participle clause. We're talking about cause here. So what is this clause doing? This clause, not speaking English, I left. Being a teenager, I was so stupid. Rachel, giving the reason, yeah, describing the reason for the event in the main clause. So here in the main clause, yeah, in the main clause, there is a main event, yeah, main event. What is the main event? I left the party. What is the main event? I was so stupid. And what is this participle clause doing? Describing the reason, yeah?
The second one is more about the time. It's like a season of your life.
Being a teenager, I was so stupid. So what was the reason of my stupidity? The fact that I was a teenager, even though this is placed in the past. It is true that that is placed in the past. But the reason for my stupidity was the fact that I was a teenager. Sorry? Say again? Maybe not, maybe in general. At all life stages, you know? Adulthood, etc. Yeah? Okay. Describing the reason, yeah? Describing the reason, yeah? Of what? Describing the reason of the main event, yeah? Yeah, that's the way I would put it, yeah? The reason for the main event. So that is another use, yeah, of the past participle ones. Cause, describing the reason for the main event. So far so good? Okay, let's talk about result right now, which is similar to cause, yeah? Result. Result. Have a look at this. This is what happened in La Palma, yeah? The lava went down the slope. The lava went down the slope, destroying everything in its path, yeah? Destroying everything in its path, you could say, or you could also say as a main clause, causing widespread damage. Okay. In this case, as you can see, the participle clause is in the second position, yeah? It's not in the first position, but in the second. So here, this is the participle clause. Here, this is the main clause. What is the participle clause doing? It is showing the result, yeah? To explain the result of an action in the main clause, yeah? To explain the result of an action. So here, participle clause, what is it doing? Explaining, yeah? It's explaining the result of this action. What is the main action? The lava went down the slope. This is the main action, yeah? Main action. And what is the result? What we have in the participle clause. This is the result. Main action, result. Using, what are we using here? ING, we're using here a participle clause again. So far so good? Questions up to this point? No? Is it clear? Yeah? May I erase it? Just a bit left to go. Almost there. Okay. Now, we can also use conjunctions, yeah? Conjunctions. To complete or to complement the participle clauses. Conjunctions such as while, conjunctions such as if, unless, while I already said it, after, yeah? Once, although, etc. Yeah? These are conjunctions that you can attach, yeah, to the participle clause. Have a look at this. Reading, okay, remember the example, I'm not going to write it down again, but I said it before. Remember when I said, reading the book, yeah? Reading the book, reading the book, I could hear the birds singing. What would be the conjunction here? While reading the book, yeah? While reading the book, I could hear the birds singing. Okay, read. Sometimes these conjunctions are necessary. Sometimes they are optional, like while. Yeah. Sometimes they're quite necessary because if I say here read, comma, the book can change your life or should be returned to the library. Yeah. Should be returned. Read, the book should be returned. In this case, I would say I kind of need a conjunction here. Which one would you choose? After doesn't sound good to me because you would say after reading it. You would need an ing. After reading it, the book should be returned. But if you don't change the shape of read, once, yeah. So yeah, sometimes these conjunctions are necessary, like here. Otherwise, it would be weird. Read. Well, unless we are in a competition, read. Yeah, that would make sense. But in a sentence, once read, the book should be returned. Here is necessary. But in other cases, such as while, yeah, reading, yeah, while reading the book, blah blah blah. In this case, while is optional, but once in this context is necessary. Another example, read. Read, this book can change your life. I think here it's also necessary, yeah. This book can change your life. Read, this book can change your life. Another possibility for read. Read, this book can change your life. It's not in this list. Oh yeah, it is. Rachel, for example, yeah. If read, this book can change your life. So sometimes these conjunctions are if read, if you read it, yeah, if you read it, if it is read by you, this one is passive. If it is read by you, this book can change your life. So sometimes you would need a conjunction to make it sound good. Once read, return it. If read,